Do you have any plans for the next few days, or just the same old same old?
I don't know. We have very bad weather with raining, so I don't know. I think stay at home, learn English.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Um, and who else do we have? Tiago, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well. And you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. And Tiago, where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Okay, nice. And Tiago, what do you like to do in your free time? What are some of your hobbies?
Um, Sometimes I play ping pong,
Okay.
sometimes chess. I like to play games.
Nice.
Yeah. I used to play more video games, but lately I'm playing more physical games like more board games or ping pong.
Nice. Yeah, I like board games. I like ping pong, things like that as well. Yeah, chess is fun.
Yeah.
What kind of board games do you
Chess.
like?
Have you played War? Have you heard about War?
I don't think so. Okay,
Yeah, here in Brazil is kind of popular.
nice.
Um, it's like the in the game, the board of the game is like an entire map of the world, and
Hmm.
you have some. Each player have possession of some countries and try to gain possession of another countries. Yeah,
Okay, it's like Risk, right?
probably.
So it's the same
uh,
same idea, I think. Risk is a game where you have a world map and you have different like it's split up into different categories and you have like little pieces and you try to conquer the rest of the world.
yeah, yeah. But in War, it's like each player receives a card, and this card like say what's the goal of each player. Like
Okay,
the goal of a player might be, for example, to conquer all the countries in Europe, for example.
cool. That's actually really interesting. Um, okay.
Yeah.
And nice. Well, good to meet you. We also have I don't know who came in first. Um, Jose, how's it going?
Hi, Joshua. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. And you?
Nice. Doing well. Good to see you again. What have you been up to since I saw you last? More classes?
Uh, I I had one or two classes before it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
after the class I had dinner,
Hmm.
and now I'm I'm learning English.
Okay. What'd you eat for dinner?
Uh, I I had some chicken with potato.
Okay. Nice. Chicken with potatoes. That sounds pretty tasty. Um, yeah. I think you have chicken a lot. This seems to be like a recurring theme with your meals. Lots of chicken. Okay. And Adelo, welcome to class. How's it going?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And what have you been up to, Adela, since I saw you last?
Nothing special. I went to looks like no, look after my mother.
Okay. Went to look after your mother. And how's she doing?
Well, it's to talk with her a little to maybe if she needs something, but it is good. Is healthy more or less.
Okay. Okay. She is healthy, more or
She's
less.
healthy. Yes.
Okay. That's good to hear. Um, and Ana Carolina, how are you?
I'm fine, Joshua. Thank you.
Okay. Um, yeah, and have you thought of any more about Wile E. Coyote?
No, I, but I thought it was really funny, and I saved it with in my all my favorite in my favorites.
Okay,
All my
nice.
favorites. On or in my
In my
favorites.
favorites. In my
In my
favorites.
favorites. Yes, I will go over it one
Okay,
day.
cool. Yeah, I like that story a lot. It's funny. Um, okay, and Giulietta, welcome back. How's it going?
Thank you. I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. What have you been up to since the last class?
I ate dinner and took a
Okay.
shower.
Productive. What'd you have for dinner?
Salad.
Okay, nice. What kind of salad? Anything special?
Lettuce and tomatoes.
Just plain lettuce and tomatoes?
Yes.
Okay, healthy. Nice. And I think that's everybody. Let's get started on today's class. I'm going to be talking about disasters. So it's kind of a last-minute change. And so, yeah, let's have Diago. Can you read the title in the next lines?
Okay, disasters. Today we'll read about different disasters, practice role plays, and read some comics. Yeah,
Nice.
that is.
Good. And Diago, can you ask Ksenia the first question?
Okay. What are some different kinds of disasters?
There are tornado, tsunami,
Plural.
tornadoes,
Yeah. There are tornadoes.
tornadoes, tsunami. I don't know how to say it. Tsunamis?
It's actually a Sioux.
Tsunamis.
Mhm.
Earthquakes. Thunderstorm. I don't know. Is disaster? So no.
Could be. What type of disaster would a thunderstorm bring?
I don't know. Typhoons?
Okay. A typhoon.
No.
Yeah, no, a typhoon is good. For sure. It's similar to, oh, well, yeah, typhoon is different from everything you said so far. So typhoon is good. It's different than a thunderstorm.
Yes.
What happens if it rains a lot during a thunderstorm? What kind of disaster would you have?
It's water flood. No?
A flood. Yeah.
Flood.
Mm-hmm. Good. What's the opposite of a flood?
Dry.
It
Drought.
starts with DR. Drought, yeah. Good. Yeah, those are all disasters. Does anybody know what kind of disasters those are?
Natural.
Yeah, these are natural disasters. Good. Really well done. Okay, Ksenia, actually, Javier, welcome to class. How's it going?
I'm great, thank you. You? Are you good?
Nice. Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Just last class of the day and hanging out. But thanks for asking. Ksenia, can you ask Jose the next question?
Jose, have you ever been in a disaster?
Now I'm living in Spain. In Spain, it's not so much common to have a disaster. I've never been in a disaster.
Okay. Okay, good. Now I'm living in Spain. It's not so much common to have a disaster. How would you... This is a little bit off. Can you
Okay.
reword this sentence?
It's not common to have a disaster.
Okay, yeah, it's not common to have a disaster.
Yes.
Maybe if we start with disasters.
Disasters are not very common in Spain.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Yes, okay.
Okay. I've never been in a disaster. Okay. And What about you, Javier?
No, yeah, the same. I've never been in a disaster. Yeah, so
Okay.
luckily, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Actually, let's have Jose. Can you ask Javier the next question?
Javier, are there ways we can prepare ourselves in advance to cope with disasters?
Yeah, actually, there are. I think that the common one is to do how it's called, to do simulations about disasters. And apart from this, yeah, to be ready to buy stuff that probably you need when I don't know, when a tsunami or a tornado happen. So it's I think it's yeah, the only things that I can think about this. No.
Okay, so the common one is to do simulations, and you can also buy things you would need, maybe if a tsunami or tornado happened.
You say simulations, yeah, not simulacres. No, simulations. Yeah.
Simulations, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. You could also say drills, like disaster drills. Would be kind of
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
simulation.
Disaster. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And yeah, does anybody have any questions? Adela, oh, go ahead. Yeah.
What's the name of when, like, here in Brazil sometimes happen that it's like a rain, but it's like a rain with some ice blocks. It's like it's not snow and it's not rain and it's not snow, but it's like some ice blocks that fall from the sky.
Yeah, it's hail.
Hail. Oh, cool,
Hail.
cool.
And it sounds like,
That
go ahead.
yeah, hail can make some
Hail.
disasters. Like, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Hail can be really dangerous.
yeah,
Definitely that's also something that comes in a thunderstorm. So you can have floods and hail, fires also, potentially, depending on the lightning strikes. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Adela, can you explain what a dam is?
A dam is build a barrier that you can build to contain water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a barrier that you can build to contain water, for sure. Good. And I think we're all set on this page. Let's go on to the next one. Julieta, can you read through the words?
Vocabulary: hurricane, tornado, earthquake, explosion, chemical warfare, volcanic eruption, epidemics, pandemic, drought, flood.
Can you repeat flood?
Flood.
Yeah. Good. And questions here. Does anybody have any questions?
I think that I don't know what's hurricane.
Okay. Who can explain what a hurricane is?
I can.
Go ahead.
Have you heard about Katrina?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this type of very, very strong wind that destroy everything is a hurricane. Um, uh, it's a very strong, strong wind, and and sometimes there is a storm
It's definitely always
together.
accompanied by a
Yes,
storm.
always.
Yeah.
I fight
Um,
sometimes, but it's always.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, it'll always have
Yeah,
like
I
rain.
got it.
Okay. And yeah, good. Any other questions?
Where is writing tomato? Tomato is correct. Tomato.
Ah, this is a tornado. So that's an R and an N.
Okay, cool.
So if we look at images of a hurricane, this is a hurricane. What's the difference, Julieta, between a hurricane and a tornado?
I think that the hurricane is bigger.
Yeah. So the hurricane is much bigger. Much bigger. What? What's a? I don't know how to say it. I guess which storm has a faster wind? Which storm is more destructive in a small area?
Tornado.
A tornado.
Yeah. Yeah. Tornadoes are really, really fast winds that are very, very concentrated.
The wind
So you can. Sorry.
is rotating.
Yeah. So they actually are both
The
rotating storms.
wind is rotating.
hmm Actually, in a hurricane, you see a rotating wind as well. So with a hurricane, you've got wind in a really big circle, kind of going like that. And with a tornado, it's just really concentrated, so it's really tiny. Yeah. Does that make sense, guys? Everybody, hopefully?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And any other questions?
Um, Pandemic is like like some uh, disease, disease that like spreads around the entire world.
Yeah, it's a disease that's prevalent in a country, a continent, or the whole world. It's an epidemic over a large area.
I
So
see.
we've got like an epidemic.
Like Ebola, no? Ebola.
Yeah, epidemic. I think Ebola. I don't know if you could call it a pandemic because while it moved to the rest of the world, it wasn't really prevalent in the
Yes,
rest of the
in
world.
Spain,
There were.
in Spain we had Ebola.
So you had it, but it wasn't prevalent. So there were maybe 5 cases in Spain. I'm not sure how many exactly, but
Yes,
there weren't
two cases more or less.
2 cases. Yeah. So when we've got a pandemic, it's the whole world or the whole continent is sick.
I
Ebola
think
was an
that
epidemic. So go ahead.
I think that was a big example of pandemic was I think that happens in the end of the 19th century. That was the uh, I I think that is named is Spanish Code. Like
Uh-huh.
I think that more than 20 million people died in Europe do that.
Yeah. I think more than 500 million were affected worldwide. Not died, but they were affected worldwide. This is just like, yeah, that would be a pandemic. So it's everywhere in the whole world. Ebola was an epidemic in the part of Africa where it was, because it wasn't even all of the continent. It could have been a pandemic in like Sierra Leone, in that country. It was a pandemic. Um, but yeah, so pandemic is generally just bigger. Um, I guess basically. Any other questions? Also, it was the Spanish flu. Sorry, it was the Spanish flu, not the Spanish cold.
I
So it was the
see.
influenza, and so we call it the flu. Okay, let's go on to the next page. And Anna Carolina, can you try the first one?
Hold on. I was in a once. Hold on, teacher. I was in a once the storm was huge, had high winds, and there was lots of rain. I was in a hurricane once.
Good. Nice. Good pronunciation. And man, sorry. Let's try the next one, Adela.
Yes, California has experienced has you California has experience, no? With to experience.
You're close.
Has been experience. No, I don't like.
You're right.
Yes. Okay. Experiencing a drought for the past several years. There has been no rain for a while.
Yeah. Good. Can you repeat drought? Drought.
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 Yeah, good. And Thiago, what about the next one?
Okay. In the First World War, mustard gas and other chemical weapons has been used by many countries.
You're close, but it's not quite right. This is the passive voice. So it's a little bit different.
Was
close.
Used.
Yeah, except for plural. Not was used.
War.
Yeah.
Were used.
Were used. Okay. Can you repeat used?
Used.
Nope, just used.
Used.
You're saying used. We want to say used. Not. So not used, used, used.
Use it.
Let's have Anna Carolina. Can you repeat used?
Okay.
Used.
Used.
Used. Did I mispronounce?
No. You said it perfectly. I'm trying to think of a way to help Thiago with it.
It's like the letter U. I don't pronounce like U. I pronounce it in a different way.
No, you're saying you correctly, but you're making it 2 syllables. It needs to be 1 syllable. So just used.
Okay, used.
Closer.
Used.
Used.
Ah, I see. Used. Like I have to say everything at once. Like, okay.
Say use. Used. Say it like that. So draw it out. With me? Can you say that one more time?
Used.
Better. Perfect. Try that. So keep saying it for like just drawing it out, and then eventually you'll shorten it to be correct. But we want to say used and not used. So there's no vowel sound in between the Z and the D, just used.
I see. Yeah, I think that. I think that got in the track.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track for sure. Good. Ksenia, what about the next one?
The flu pandemic that occurred in 1918 infected 500 million people.
Yeah. Infected. Really nice job. And Jose, what about the next one?
Okay. If you are in Pompeii during the volcanic eruption, you likely will be fossilized.
Okay. Oh, wow. Fossilized. Can you repeat fossilized?
Fossilized. Fossilized.
Yeah.
Fo-
All right,
Fossilized.
what if you said... Oh, sorry, yeah.
Will be fossilized.
Good.
Will be fossilized.
What if we changed this to... You were correct. I didn't even think about that option because I just wasn't thinking. But you likely would have been. What if we said have been? How do we change this?
Okay. If you had
Mm-hmm.
no, if you were
Okay. If you were in Pompeii during the volcanic eruption, you likely would have been fossilized. Yeah. I think if you had been or if you were...
if you had been, you were. Okay. Both are
Actually,
possible.
a cheerful sentence. Yeah. Yeah, if you were in Pompeii, you would have been fossilized. And that works.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a number of different options. Good. And does anybody have any questions?
Can I say chemical weapons have been used?
Had been used?
Mm.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Had been used. Sounds a little bit off. It's hard. I don't know the passive voice well. Go ahead. What was your question?
So in the last sentence, it's possible to use the first conditional, no?
Yeah, this one works. This conditional works.
Okay.
You would have been fossilized.
The first conditional is possible, no? The first.
If you... The first conditional would be the future, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you
Yes.
are,
It's not
you will
possible.
be.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first
Okay.
conditional wouldn't work.
It's clear. Yes, but in the second part, I have to use the future.
You would have been fossilized. You'd have to use the present perfect.
Okay.
Because it's an event in the past. You can't change the past. Yeah. I think if you had been in Pompeii during the volcanic eruption, you likely would have been fossilized. That's what I was thinking, at least. So you use the third conditional.
It's better because the third conditional is a situation is not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I think you had been in Pompeii. That's what I was thinking again. It doesn't sound bad if you change it around. So oftentimes with these conditional statements, the rules, well, there are rules, are mostly ignored. People don't generally know the rules. So you can kind of mix and match between the different conditionals, and nobody will look at you twice. But I think the most correct one would have been is the third conditional, because it's an event in the past that can't be changed. But yeah, like I said, you weren't wrong. All of those sounded good that you'd said. So, with Julieta, you were asking weapons had been used. It just doesn't sound right. Again, the passive voice were used. The weapons were used. It just happened in the past. You wouldn't need to use the past perfect.
Okay.
Like they had been used until, or like if they had been used for much longer, many more people would have died. is, so if you're using a conditional sentence or a conditional statement, it would work better, even if you're using the passive voice. So if they had been used much longer, more people would have died. Yeah. So again, that third conditional. Any other questions here? You guys are almost stumping me a number of times. Okay. Let's skip that one. We could do a little bit of reading. I'm kind of interested in this. So I'm going to put this link. No, maybe I'm not. I can't do it. Oh, shoot. I'm going to put the link in the chat box, but I'm going to also share this screen. I thought this was an interesting comic. It's a little bit longer, but hold on while I get it up. So we're going to just read this together. And cool. Shoot. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's have, where were we? I think we're with, who went last? I'm not sure who went last. Does anybody know?
No,
Me.
Jose.
Jose went
Me.
last. Javier, can you read the title and
Yes.
the first block?
Who, me?
Yeah, Javier.
Okay. Serious climate conflict. Written by Audrey Quinn, illustrated by Jackie Roche. Legend has it the spark of Syria's civil war came from a few cans of spray paint in the southwest city of Daraa.
Good. Climate. Can you repeat climate?
Climate.
Yeah, climate.
Climate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's have Julieta, can you read the first two blocks?
Between 2006 and 2012, over half of the country had suffered under the worst drought on record. This drought was more intense and lasted longer than could be explained by natural variation in weather. This was climate change.
And the next one too.
Nearby, 85% of livestock died.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Yeah,
Let's say.
nearly. And then 2011 or 2011.
2011.
Yeah, or 2011. I think he said 2012. Just the numbers probably looking a little bit mixed up, but good. Any questions so far? Okay. And let's have Ana Carolina. Can you read the next two blocks?
Syria's famed fields of Halabi peppers withered away. President Bashar al-Assad offered little help. His government awarded well rights along political lines, so farmers had to drill their own illegal wells, and people who spoke out against him regularly faced imprisonment, torture, and even death.
Good. And so that's what we've got there. Well rights, divided well rights.
Well, rights. What did I say?
I think the enunciation was a little bit off. I think you said awarded well rights.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. So yeah, just the right to dig wells or use wells. So we're talking about water wells.
Teacher. Water wells is like similar to. I think that I haven't heard this.
Okay.
Expression.
Can anybody explain what a water well is?
Yes, it's like a dig to get water. A hole on the ground,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
oh, I
Sometimes
see.
there is something with bricks around and a bucket.
Oh,
Yes.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And yeah, so this is so far. Any other questions so far? Okay.
Wizard.
Withered. So if something is withering from lack of water, it's like dying from lack of water.
Hmm.
It's when you get really wrinkled and start to turn brown. So like plants will wither. You could say like people wither too when they get really old. They kind of shrink and wrinkle.
Mhm.
But generally we're talking about plants withering. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And other questions? Okay. And let's read this next part, Adela.
Yes, nearly a million rural villagers lost their farm to the drought.
Good.
They crowd into overcrowded city like Dara.
Yeah, they crowded into overcrowded cities like that. Good. And maybe read this next part too, this next square.
They crowd into overcrowded cities like Dara. In the cities, the water problem became even more dire. There weren't enough jobs. Once prosperous farmers were lucky to find work as street sweepers.
Good. Any other questions here? Does anybody remember what dire means?
Yeah, no, I don't know. No.
Something really dangerous.
Yeah, really dangerous, really intense or severe. Yeah, so we're talking about like dire straits would be like a dangerous position. Yeah, nice memory, Julieta.
Teacher, what's street sweepers?
A street sweeper is somebody who cleans the street.
Oh, I see.
That's just, yeah, that's all. Any other questions? Okay. And let's go to the next page. Tiago, can you read this next bit?
Yes, of course. Cool. So, a group of teenage boys express their frustrations. They say, the people want to topple the regime. They borrowed a slogan from new revolutions in Cairo and Tunis. Local secret police come and arrested 15 of the teenagers.
Good. Let's look at regime.
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 Yeah.
Regime. Okay.
Yeah, maybe like that is what I'd say. Regime.
Regime.
Good. And borrowed.
Borrowed.
Good. Okay, perfect. And let's have Jose. Can you read the next bit?
Okay. They borrow a slogan from new revolutions in Cairo.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can see it yet.
Okay. In a cell of the nearby political security branch, the police beat and tortured the boys. The grown men burned their skin and pulled out their fingernails.
Good. Let's look at tortured.
Torture.
Okay. Good. And other questions here. So about before, we've got topple, which is knock down or end.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay. And let's have Javier. Can you read the next part?
The boys come from some of the most prominent families in Dara. Family members march to the governor's house.
Good. And the next part?
Assad Syria was a government accustomed to authoritarian rule.
Accustomed.
Accustomed.
Yeah, accustomed and authoritarian.
Accustomed. No, sorry. Accustomed. Yeah, accustomed.
Accustomed, authoritarian.
And authoritarian.
Good. And let's have Julieta, can you read the next bit?
Protests continued throughout the city. Soon after, Syrians in other cities gathered in support of the children of Daraa. Go out, Bashar. The protests spread following the path of the drought.
The protests spread following the path of the drought. Any questions so far? Okay, good pronunciation. Anna Carolina, can you read the next part?
The kind of sustained uprising, it wasn't supposed to happen in Syria. Seattle-based reporter Alexis Stonehill had been in Syria in late 2010. He was shocked when the revolution began a few months later. Before the war started, things were pretty stable. Even when stuff started happening in other places, I didn't expect it to happen in Syria.
Good. Any questions here? Sustained? Anybody know what sustained means?
I'm not sure, but I guess it is like not easy, not
ending.
Stop.
Yeah, it's like long term. Yeah, so not stopping. And good. Let's go.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Uprising.
An uprising. It's like a rebellion, kind of. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. No, sorry.
Okay. So an uprising is a rebellion. It's like when people below kind of rise into places of power and try to take control. So when people with no control try to take control of something is an uprising. Does that make sense?
Like when a movement, like a revolution, it starts from the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's have Tiago. Can you read the next page? This next bit?
Okay. Right up until the first protests in Daraa, international security analysts had proclaimed Syria immune to the rising Arab Spring. Demonstrations in Syria are unlikely to pick up anywhere near enough momentum to seriously threaten the regime of President Bashar al-Assad.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at proclaimed.
Proclaimed.
Claimed.
Claimed. Proclaimed. Proclaimed.
So it's the same exact problem as before. So proclaimed.
Proclaimed.
Perfect. There you go. And immune.
Immune.
Good.
I think that I'm getting what's my like my kind of issue with this
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Yeah, it's just those silent E's in the ED endings occasionally. But you're alright, no worries. Any questions here? Immune? So immune is unable to be affected by, so they thought that nothing would happen in Syria. It was impossible virtually for anything to happen in Syria. And Jose, can you read the next bit?
Okay. The Assad family had held Syria under one of the most oppressive but steady regimes in the Middle East for the past 40 years.
Yeah.
So what could have put Syria over the edge?
And
Did
Jose, yeah,
yes.
read that one too.
Did human-caused climate change play a role?
Climate.
Climate.
Good. And
Climate.
Javier, can you read the next bit?
Analysts underestimated the impact of the 2006 to 2011 draft on Serbia's citizens. Francisco Femia is the director of the Washington, D.C. based Center for Climate and Security. As an international community, we are not looking into environmental stress enough.
Good. Let's pause there. Questions? No questions? Over the edge? What's that mean? What do you think, Tiago?
It's like a complicated position, like close to the conflict.
Over the edge would be like into the conflict or into the complicated situation. It's like the edge is the last safe place, and over the edge is like beyond the safe place. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Good. And let's have Julieta, can you read this next bit?
It is really significant when you look at 1.5 million people entirely losing their livelihood. This was 5 years of extended drought. People just couldn't live anymore in rural areas. The fact that there was this massive population displacement from rural area into urban areas, those dynamics may have contributed to social unrest and the sustainability of the revolutionary movement.
Yeah, good. Any questions here? Julieta, can you repeat sustainability?
Sustainability.
Good. Okay. And so there are no other questions. Ana Carolina, can you read this next part?
After decades of cruel leadership, the effects of climate change may have been the ultimate unhinging stressor for Syria. Even if this climate-stressed country recovers politically, Syria is on path to lose nearly 50% more of its agricultural capacity by 2050. If current rates of greenhouse gas emissions continue, more extreme droughts will return and water shortages will worsen. Teacher Could you scroll down?
Yeah, let's
What's
pause.
the what does no scroll up? Sorry.
Okay.
What does unhinging?
Unhinging.
Unhinging. Sorry, unhinging.
No, it's okay. Unhinging. So a hinge is something that holds a door in place. So it's what the door turns on. And if something is unhinged, it can no longer turn. So it's something that like makes something not functional anymore. So does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So if we look at a hinge, it looks like this. This is a hinge for a door. So like unhinging would be like ruining that thing that makes something work. Can you repeat ultimate?
Ultimate.
Recovers. Recovers.
Recovers.
Good. And I think that sounded good other than that. Any questions here?
What is a stressor?
A stressor is something that increases the amount of friction in something. So if you will be stressed out if you have a lot of work to do for school. So if you have to finish like 3 essays by Friday, you'll be pretty stressed. Another added stressor could be having to clean your room, or else your mom will kick you out of the house, and also having to find a job because you can't pay for school. So each new thing is an added stressor. It's something that adds stress or anxiety to your life. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Fantastic. Okay. And let's go.
Actually, I have a question about greenhouse gas. It's like what's greenhouse gas?
Okay. Does anybody think they can explain greenhouse gases well?
It's a kind of gas that stop the heat of the sun under a center surface, like CO2 or CO.
Yeah. So it's a gas that will help trap the heat of the sun, or the energy of the heat of the sun, within the atmosphere. Yeah, like CO2, like carbon dioxide. Does that make sense, Thiago?
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Thiago, can you read the last part?
Okay. And Syria will remain as a warning of the devastation that can occur when tenuous political situations combine with the stress of climate change.
Tenuous.
Tenuous.
With the stresses.
Tenuous.
Tenuous and stresses.
Stresses.
Okay. Maybe I think that sounded good. And yeah, I think that was good. Does anybody have any questions here? Okay. So that was that. I thought it was at least really interesting. Hopefully you guys liked that, or thought it was interesting as well. Yeah, Jose, what do you think?
I think it is a huge problem. Because of this problem, the people are getting away from Syria to other places.
Yeah, definitely. At least in part, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this. Let's have Thiago. Can you ask Jose the first question?
Okay. What are examples of man-made disasters?
Man-made disasters. Example, I am thinking about one example of man-made disaster is the drought. Because the emissions of CO2 are changing the weather, and then in some places they don't have enough water for living.
Yeah. Have enough. You said for living?
Enough water for living.
Not for living.
To live.
Good. Yeah. Nice. Okay. And actually, let's finish up with something that's a little bit funny, so we don't end up on a sad note. So let's read a little bit of Calvin and Hobbes. So we'll read about some Calvin and Hobbes disasters. Although, yeah, I guess let's try this. Javier, can you read the first two parts?
At 35,000 feet, the engines of Flight 430 explode for no reason, with plumes of dense smoke trailing from the wings. The giant aircraft plummets out of control.
Yeah, plumes.
Plumes.
Good. And Ana Carolina, can you read the next part?
Meanwhile, a Soul car.
It's 50, sorry.
Yes,
It's really hard to see.
Sorry, I thought it was weird. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I am, because I should have figured it out. Meanwhile, a 50 car, a freight train hits a penny on the rail at 8 miles an hour and jumps the tracks, dragging 500,000 tons of metal into the air behind it.
Good. And yeah, Ana Carolina, one more.
In a freaky coincidence, both the jets and the train are converging on one spot, where tectonic plates in the Earth's crust have just begun to shift.
Good. And Julieta, can you read the last part?
From that spot?
That spot and as he.
That spot is the house of Farmer Brown, who is this moment is unaware of a gas leak as he attempts to light his stove. Oh man. And
Tiago, can you read the rest of it? Ooh, maybe we've lost me. Tiago, are you there? Can you hear me? No. Alright. Oh no. I can't hear you guys. I'm gonna try to leave and come back.
Teacher, I can hear you. It's Julieta and Tiago.
Okay, perfect. My screen is also frozen. I can only see white. I'm sorry. Can you finish reading, Jose?
Yes. As he strikes the match, he casually glances out the kitchen window. His eye twitches involuntarily. Can't we play something else?
Good. Yeah. So Calvin's just playing like the most destructive thing ever.